Hi everybody, this is Marina and I'm here with Claudia Nogan with New American Funding.
Yes. How are you, Marina?
A couple of things. Claudia will answer our questions when it comes to obtaining a mortgage, right, as a buyer.
Yes.
And there's a lot of confusion for a lot of the first-time home buyers. One of the things that I have noticed that there's a confusion about is closing costs and cash to close. So what is the difference? Because buyers do often think it's the same thing.
Cash to close or down payment, that refers to how much of a down payment percentage you're putting down to purchase the home. Your closing costs is a collection of all of the associated fees and costs to process the loan, to establish a new escrow account, to have the appraisal done, to get the title on the property, to record the new mortgage with the county, surveys, all of those things, most of which are third-party fees. Okay. So your survey is a third-party fee, your appraiser is a third-party fee, the title company is a third-party fee, your attorney. So all of those things, that's what becomes the closing costs. And the closing costs are completely separate and outside of the down payment.
It's the money you're spending in order to obtain your loan.
Correct.
Your mortgage. Yeah. What are the average closing costs generally? Let's discuss it for a $500,000 home.
So I typically tell my clients to expect anywhere from 3 to 4% of the purchase price as closing costs. So on a $500,000 house, you're looking at around $15,000 in closing costs. While that's a good rule of thumb, that number can change. The most dramatic difference is property taxes. So if you have a home that you're buying and the property taxes are $10,000 and your escrow requirements are for 3 months and we need to put 3 months up front to pay for the next quarter, $10,000 is $833.33 per month. So times 3, 833 times 3, we now have $5,000 that are needed immediately for paying your first quarter as well as for future escrows. Now, if you're buying a $500,000 house and your closing costs are $12,000, now it's $1,000 per month, and you just went from $5,000 to now $6,000. So you just really increase that closing cost. So that's why I say that's one of the biggest differences is going to be in that.
Understood. So definitely that's something that the buyer has to be prepared and be able to afford going into. What are some of the other things that the buyers can do before they start shopping for a home to make sure that they're financially set to obtain a mortgage?
I think the most important thing is start out having a conversation with me and my team. We are going to guide you through and we're going to go through numbers. And one thing you need to understand as a buyer, you come to me and you're not ready to buy a house right now, I'm not going to tell you no. I'm going to tell you this is what you have to do to get you ready. If it is 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever it is, the consultation costs you nothing and it can give you some great insight and really get you ready for where you want to be.
Absolutely. So don't always assume that you can't afford to purchase a home. Sometimes it's just a matter of speaking to the right people and creating a plan that will work specifically for you to achieve your goals, right? Everything
Absolutely.
is achievable and figure-outable.
Yep, figure-outable. I love it.
Sometimes buyers trying to purchase a home, but they don't have their regular income, right? Maybe it's someone who has been retired for a while, but doesn't necessarily want to purchase for cash. What do you do in that case?
So whenever you're talking about somebody that has assets but doesn't have income, we can actually look at something that's called an asset depletion. And an asset depletion is where we take a combination of all of their savings, checkings, investment accounts, IRAs, like Roths, anything that they have. We take all of that, we put it all into a pot, and there's a calculation that we use that allows us to utilize that as income. So it does not mean that they need to be taking withdrawals on it or anything like that. It's just they have this asset and we're using that asset to determine and create an income for the potential buyer. So it's just another creative way of being able to have you qualify for a home, even though you're not making enough in traditional income on paper.
Would this be just for primary residence, or would someone be able to do something like this for an investment property as well?
This is for a primary residence. For an investment property, I think one of the easiest ways for anybody to look at investment properties right now is to look at what's called a DSCR loan, which is a debt services loan. And that just means that the property that they are buying as an investment, that the monthly mortgage payment is equal to or lower than what the rent roll or the income roll would be for that property. So you want to go buy a $1 million 4 or 5 units, you have $10,000 a month in mortgage payment, and you have $12,000 a month in income being generated, you have a positive cash flowing. And we are not looking at any type of traditional income at that point. The home is going to be put into an LLC because you're going to create an LLC. So you're insulating your asset from any other assets that you have. And the home is going to be closed under the newly established LLC name with just you as the security signer on the loan. So
wow,
that's a very investor-friendly product.
I love that. That makes sense because you really are just, the property is basically covering itself.
Yep, that's it. And it does not have to be for multifamilies. It can be used for singles, for condos. We can use that.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for answering all of our questions. If you have any other questions about mortgage or financing, please make sure to leave the comment below and we'll circle back with another video for you. Awesome. Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you. I love being here.